Week 6 in Meat Cookery is all about presenting meat dishes. Our objectives are, at the end of the module, you should be able to present meat dishes aesthetically based on classical and cultural standards. Next, select suitable plate according to standard in serving meat dishes. And lastly, present meat dishes hygienically within the required time frame. To recall our lesson, let us accomplish let's do this activity using Jamboard. So what you're going to do is to look for your own group mates and brainstorm, or make a simple discussion from the given set of pictures or images of kitchen tools and equipment from this Jamboard. Let your group assign the task of who will be the marketer, the one who will identify the ingredients, the chef, or the one who will identify the method or methods of cooking to be used, the diner, the one who will identify the name of the menu, and lastly, the food blogger, the one who checks and finalizes the discussion in the Jamboard. For set A, example, the marketer can identify the pork ribs, the pork belly, the garlic, soy sauce, a marinade sauce, and the herbs and spices. While the chef can guess that the methods of cooking to be used from the given pictures would be grilling, barbecuing, or broiling, since we have the griller. While the diner can guess that the menu is a baby back ribs, grilled pork belly, or would be spice broiled pork belly or ribs. Then the food blogger can now finalize their answer. We have another set 2 and set 3. You'll be given enough time to finish this task. For our next activity, what you're going to do is to identify if the given statement is a serving or a portion. 1. The 1/4 of plate is protein such as meat and fish. Next, a quarter chicken in Kenny Rogers platter. Next, 1 cup of cereal for breakfast. Next, an upsized Coke to 20 ounces from McDonald's. And 1 cup of warm milk before bed. You may pause this activity to answer. Let us now answer. The first is a serving. 1/4 is the ideal protein per plate for each meal. Next, we have portion. A quarter chicken in Kenny Rogers platter is what you want to eat, but it is not the right serving or quantity of protein that you have to eat per meal. Next, we have serving. Energy-giving food in the morning to start the day right should be a 1 cup of cereal. Next, we have portion. An upsize of Coke to 20 ounces is beyond the sugar required per day. Next, we have serving. School-age children requires more protein for bodybuilding. That is why a cup of warm milk before bed is considered a serving. Don't be confused. Serving size is a standardized amount of food. It may be used to quantify recommended amounts per diet, while portion size is the amount of food you choose to eat, which may be more or less than a serving. For our next activity, I want you to expound this quote from Apicius. One eats with the eye. From the given food magazine with different food cover, what does this quote mean to you? You can use the comment section below for your answer. The expression one eat with the eyes is certainly true because when a dish is visually appealing, it is more appetizing. So that is all about food presentation or plating. Cookery is an applied science and art. It is an applied science or a simple chemistry. The changes in physical and chemical reactions take place as the food cooks. It is also an art of preparing, cooking, presenting, and serving food. Before we start, let me give you these guide questions. First, plating versus garnishing. How does plating differ from garnishing? Number 2, how to present food on a plate. And number 3, why plating or food presentation is important. Meat presentation or food presentation refers to the arrangement or preparation of food on the plate in a way that it makes appealing or attractive to the diner. Food presentation must have 3 elements to make them attractive. First is the centerpiece. It may be an uncut portion of the main food item. Number 2 is the main food item per se. It could be in slices or serving portions arranged aesthetically. And lastly, garnish. It enhances the appearance by adding decorative touches. And as much as possible, we need to use edible garnishes. The question is how to present food on a plate. First, let us use the natural color of the food. Start with brightly colored, well-cooked food. Next, layer the food and play with contrasting colors, even shapes and textures to increase its visual appeal. And lastly, garnish the plate with flavorful herbs or spices to take it to the next level. So how to start with beautiful food? First, avoid monochromatic color scheme. We can use vegetables and fruits to bring out its brightest color in meat. Next, sear your meat and let it rest. We don't want any liquid coming from the unrest meat. Next, cook fried foods carefully because we don't want any uncooked fried foods. Next, take texture into account. We can play with crisp, to smooth, to firm, or to somewhat mushy in texture. And lastly, experiment with interesting shapes. After setting up with the natural texture and color of food, we can now proceed with plating. Okay, so how to do it? First, you can use white plates if you really don't know what color to choose. Next, visualize the finished plate or plan ahead. Next, limit portion sizes. Too much is not also ideal in plating. Next, follow the rule of odds. It is not always matchy-matchy. Next, play with different texture. Layer the foods to add height. So it is not advisable to always put our food flat on the table. Next, use a sauce wisely. And lastly, keep up with food styling trends. You can use the internet to know the latest styling trends in food. Adding appetizing touches is the last stage. We can use garnishes that are commonly edible to enhance the flavor of the meal other than it added decorative touches. Next, employ drizzles and swirls of sauces. And lastly, make sure the plate is clean. So here are the 5 basic elements of plating. First, create a framework, and that is our plate. So we have to visualize or to think ahead or plan ahead how you want your plate be presented. Next, number 2, keep it simple. Avoid too much complicated ingredients or sauces to our plate or presentation. Next, number 3, balance the dish. Play with colors, shapes, and texture, even the temperature of the meal that we have to present. Next, get the right portion size. Too big or too small is not ideal. And lastly, highlight the key ingredient. And that is the main ingredient that should stand out, okay, in the plate. Let us now practice what we have learned. From classtools.net using Vortex Game, what you're going to do is to sort the given statement to the 3 basic platter presentation. The start with beautiful food, plate with care, and lastly, appetizing touches. In this game, it allows you to master the lesson. But, of course, the quicker you are, the better your score. So, how to play the game? Just drag and drop each card into the correct vortex. Let us start. Visualize the finished plate. Let us start with beautiful food. It's a no. Let us go to plate with limit portion sizes. Let's go to plate with care. Follow the rule of odds. Okay? Take texture into account. Let us try start with beautiful food. Okay? Avoid a monochromatic color scheme. Let us try start with beautiful food. That's correct. Use a sprig or 2 of an herb and spices. Okay, so that is an appetizing touches. When in doubt, choose white plates. And I think that is plating with care. Keep up with food styling trends. Let us try 2 appetizing touches. That's a no. Plate with care. Layer foods to add height. Let us try appetizing touches. That's a no. Plate with care. That is correct. Experiment with interesting shapes. Let us try to start with beautiful food. Okay. Slice the fruit or vegetable into thin rounds. And I think that is an appetizing touch. That is correct. Bring out vegetables a brightest color. And that is start with beautiful food. Let us try. And that is correct. A dash of paprika sprinkled around the plate. And I think that is an appetizing touches. Correct again. Use a sauce wisely. Let us try plate with care. That's correct. A wedge of lemon or lime can add classical looks. Let us try appetizing touches. Okay, so after the game or after you play the game, you have to use or you have to type your full name here for recording. Thank you. For our post activity, I want you to answer this question through a short video using flipgrid.com. Link will be provided below. The question is, if given a chance to be in a group of chefs, food bloggers, food photographers, and food writers, how are you going to present a meat dish that is set to publish on an online magazine platform and from a magazine stand? Hit the response button to add your short video for your answer. Be specific and apply the basic principles of food presentation. For our Week 6 quiz, kindly click the link below for your answer. The direction is, match the given statement to the basic elements of plating. Let us now try to answer. Okay, what you're going to do here is to drag the given elements of plating here. Number 1, visualize the plate by drawings and sketches. Let's create a framework. Ensure that the main ingredient stands out and pay equal attention to the support. Okay, highlight the key ingredient. Play with colors, shapes, and textures. So let us balance the dish. Ingredients must not too small or too big on the plate. Get the right portion size. And lastly, focus on one ingredient and use space to simplify the presentation. Then submit your answer. For your agreement and reflection, cite an example from your personal experience when you appreciate the food that you ordered because of its presentation and taste. Inside the like button below, list down at least 3 things that you observe in their presentation that you like and will make you buy their food again. Let us end our Week 6 lesson with this simple quote from Thomas Keller. A recipe has no soul. You, as the cook, must bring soul to the recipe. If you have questions, you can email me at mary.hopia@deped.gov.ph or you can ask your question through the comment section in our FB group Grade 10 Cookery 2022. Thank you!